bring in Jonathan Woodard now, and I appreciate, Jonathan, your patience and all the rest, but it's always, I know you want to talk ball. I want to say congratulations on this Chiefs deal. Did it all come about on this sensational season you had in 2021 with Saskatchewan, or your prior football resume? How did this come about?
I think it was a combination of the two. My previous football resume definitely helped, but I think it also was tough for me because prior to this past year, I was out of football for 2.5 years. That was the time between this season and my last game. So I feel like this season showed that I still had the ability to go out there and play and to produce and be a part of a successful team. So it's definitely an exciting time.
Yeah, well, oh man, did you ever. So let's just talk about that. Before you came on, I said you were with the Riders for a good time, but not a long time. How did you come to be that you came to the CFL? What did you think before you got up here to Canada? And then we'll go through the season. But how did that come about?
So rewind back to, I guess it was earlier in 2021, I was still looking to pursue an NFL team. And at that point, I knew the CFL was an option, and I'd always had the idea of maybe possibly playing there, and I'd always been open to it. And then when the NFL teams, those situations didn't really work out, at that point, then I got in touch with the Riders, and then things moved forward from there. Okay,
so you came to a season that there was all the COVID testing. It was shortened to a 14-game season. You had the team had a new D-line coach in Ben Olsen. Charleston Hughes was gone, so there was some openings for guys that seemed to just played right into your hands. Talk about how the season went for you in Saskatchewan, personally and as a team.
I feel like personally it was a really good scenario coming in. I mean, I really didn't know what to expect coming from America to come out to play for the CFL, but it was honestly an amazing time and an amazing experience. I'm grateful that I got a chance to play with great teammates, great coaches, and a great fan base as well. And as far as just me personally, it was a little bit of a change just to get used to some of the rules. And in my career, I really haven't had a lot of time, much at all, to play in a 2-point stance. So I feel like that was a bit of an adjustment period. But working with Coach Olsen and then just spending the time just grinding away at trying to improve and get better and get used to playing in a 2-point versus 3-point stance, I feel like that helped me just try and get better each and every day. And as a team, I think obviously our goal was to win a Grey Cup. And I think honestly we were a few plays away here and there, but I was really proud of the way our team really fought through adversity time and time again. We played in a lot of close games. I think that game versus Calgary in the playoff game was probably one of the most fun games I've ever played in. So it was, it was an amazing experience. And honestly, I would tell any player who is looking to continue to play football or who's been out of football and maybe has NFL aspirations, whichever the situation, I think if you have the opportunity to play in the CFL, I think guys should definitely take it.
Well, you ate it up in your first and only season. It was 10 sacks, correct?
Yes, 10 in the regular season and 1 in the postseason.
Right. Well, both those playoff games were wild. The home game against Calgary and then in Winnipeg in the West Final. And I think both could have gone either way because I'm in Calgary right now and the Stamps feel it went to overtime and they see it as one that got away. But you tweeted recently something about the quality of play in the CFL. And you kind of just summed that up. But can you just say again what you put out on Twitter about the caliber of play in the CFL? Did it surprise you?
I wouldn't say it surprised me. I think, if anything, I feel like sometimes people almost look down on the CFL in the way. And I think a lot of people don't realize, these are a lot of guys who played for great colleges, have been productive at great schools, and a lot of people have played in the NFL. So there's a lot of talent on CFL teams. And I think sometimes people kind of look down on the CFL in a way that I really don't think is warranted. So I feel like there's definitely some respect due for the CFL and the talent in the league.
Who were you speaking to with that tweet? Because I spent half my time in South Florida with football guys down there. A lot of them played in the CFL, worked in the CFL. They know what it's all about. And I said, guys, I think the CFL gets more respect in America than it does in Canada. That was just my take, and I worked in the league for 20 years. Jonathan, who were you talking to? Fans, other players? Well, who was that directed at?
I mean, I would honestly say just CFL. Actually, I don't think I would even say fans. I would think, on one hand, I would be talking to players who might not necessarily think the CFL is maybe a great option for them, or they don't necessarily want to come up here for whatever reason. And then also just for, I guess, other fans who might be potentially interested in the CFL, but they kind of have the stigma of, oh, I mean, there's just not that much talent in the league and it's not as good as the NFL. When, like, I feel like if maybe fans from the outside would look in and give it a chance, they would see just how much fun the league is and how much character is there and history is there and how much the subtle nuances of the game can be very interesting and exciting once you get into it.
Well, you're 28 years old. You're in the prime of your career. You know that. But can you speak for American pro ballers that are looking at USFL, XFL, CFL? What's the talk amongst you guys as to a preferred league, if there is one? Or are guys just want an opportunity, don't really care where it is?
I think most guys just want an opportunity, honestly. I think the bigger discussion is, on one hand, you have the USFL where you can be close to home. You know, obviously, family and being close to family is important for a lot of guys. A lot of guys want to be close to home, which I understand. And like for guys who want to maybe try and play right now and later in the year go try and play in the NFL, that schedule makes more sense. So I understand from that perspective, but to make an argument for the CFL, I think what enticed me was I do think the USFL will have success, but a lot of the leagues in the past, they've been kind of one and done scenarios where there's been issues and fallouts and like a lot of unfortunate circumstances. So I think what attracted me was the history and the longevity that the CFL has had. And the fact that, like, when I was going up there, I knew I was going up into a situation where it wasn't going to, the season wouldn't have the possibility to just be cut short or just end. So I had a good feeling for what I was going into. And I think that, in my opinion, I feel like that should outweigh the feeling of being uncomfortable, being that far from home. But in my opinion, I feel like it should come down to what scenario just gives you the best chance to achieve whatever goals you're aspiring to achieve.
Oh, man, we only got a couple minutes left. Again, I feel like I could talk to you for hours. Just on joining the Chiefs, what are your expectations? How excited are you to join one of the best teams in the AFC with a vaunted defensive line?
I'm very excited, man. It's been a long time coming. A lot of work has gone to, just get through this whole process. And it's also exciting because there are a lot of things they do defensively are similar to some of the things we did in Saskatchewan on defense. So, and I really liked what we did. And being in a 4-down front, that's like my bread and butter. So I'm excited to get after it. I'm excited to contribute in whatever way I can, defense, special teams, whatever they need me to do.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll be watching close. Jonathan, thanks for your service in the CFL. You're a very well-spoken young man, a tremendous football player. We'll be watching. Thanks for the time today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Jonathan Woodard of the Kansas City Chiefs. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of The Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.